Today we're going to use Tim Holtz distress inks to make like a mottled pattern on a card. We're going to ink it first and then spray it with water mist. So when you're using your distress inks, you should always start from the lightest colour and work your way up. That's what they say. I don't always do it. When you bring your colours in, bring them in from the edge and work in a circular motion. The lighter colours are hard to get a good coverage, so it's better to build it up if you want a stronger colour. Some of the colours I'm using on this are from the Springtime Limited Editions pack, but there are similar colours in the normal ones. Even if you're not going to have yellow all over it, it's good to start with a base and then build up your colours over the top because it changes the colours. So once you've got the yellow down, the next lightest colour is the mauve. We'll go on to the mauve. I'm just going to bring it in from the corner. I'm using a craft sheet underneath the paper, but you can actually just use acetate if you don't have a craft sheet. And just fill in some of the patches. It will always be darkest near the edge because that's where you're coming in from. Colour we'll use is peacock feathers. No two pieces will turn out the same. There's no way I could copy exactly what I've done on the other one. So you sort of just got to work in what you want, work in where you want your colours. And if you're not happy, you can always come back and add some more. Because I'm going to stamp the lamp on this one, I want some red on one side, so actually I'll do it this side, just to bring it in where the light's going to be. And there's some yellow behind it as well. Because the red's a really strong colour, we won't use too much. And then down this side, because I want it to be darker, just use a darker blue. As you can see, there's not much yellow left, but in places you can see the yellow coming through from underneath. When I've done that, I always just go around the edge with a vintage photo just to give it a nice brown sort of tinge on the edges. That's my vintage style coming through. Okay, so once that's done, all we're going to do is use a mister. You can just use a spray bottle, it doesn't have to be one of these little ones. I bought this one because it's more convenient. And you just spray onto it, and the ink actually reacts with the water. You can see it's sort of forming little balls, and it gives you the motley effect. I think on this one on the other one I've used a bigger spray bottle because the sprayed bits are bigger. So I'll just give it a bit more. And normally I would use my heat gun to dry it, before I stamp it, but seeing I didn't bring it, I'll just dry it a little bit. Now that that's dried, I'm just going to ink up my stamp really well. And just stamp it as straight as possible. And that's your lampshade. Then all you have to do is mount it onto a piece of black background. That one's not quite big enough, but mount it onto that, then mount it onto your card and put it on the front of a folded card, and you've got a nice card. All the inks, all the distress inks you can get from Alice's. Like I said, some of them are limited edition, but there's other inks that are very similar. So Alice has a good range, so come on in and have a look.